Hello dear students. Today we are going to start the chapter number 4, that is cathode ray oscilloscope. So this chapter is there in the subject electronic measuring instrument, and which carries 30 marks here. And the various concepts we are going to study in this chapter is the block diagram of CRO, the applications of CRO, the block diagram of CRT, then digital storage oscilloscope, dual beam oscilloscope, and the functions of various blocks of CRO, that is vertical amplifier, horizontal amplifier, time based generator, delay line, etc. And lastly we are going to learn how we can measure voltage, current, or time period or frequency using CRO, and the chapter ends with the Lissajous pattern. So first we are going to start the block diagram of CRO. So before going through the block diagram of CRO, so first we are going to discuss the various applications of CRO, means where we can use CRO. So first application I can quote is it is used to trace an actual waveform of current or voltage, and second one is it is used to determine an amplitude of an quantity, either voltage or current, and third one is we can compare the phase and frequency of an alternating quantity by using CRO, and fourth one is it can be used for the measurement of capacitance and inductance, and next it is used in televisions, it is used in radars, and it is used for engine pressure analysis, and even CRO can be used for studying the heartbeat or the nervous reactions of a patients, etc. And lastly we can use for tracing transistor curves or to check the diodes and faulty components in various circuits. So it has got huge applications in the electronics field. So it is one of the important the electronic measuring instrument in the electronics field. So let us start with the block diagram of CRO. So as you can see here, there are so many blocks like the vertical amplifier, there is a delay line, then trigger circuit, the time based generator, then horizontal amplifier, and there is a CRT. So that is CRT is what it is heart of the CRO. So in the next concept we are going to study in detail regarding the block diagram of CRO. So first we are going to start with as I quoted the various blocks here. We'll start with the first block. So that is the vertical amplifier. So the main function of vertical amplifier is the input waveform to be measured is applied to the vertical amplifier here. So that is the waveform to be observed is applied to the vertical amplifier, and there is a block called delay line after the vertical amplifier. The function of the delay line is the delay circuit introduces a delay of a certain microsecond, maybe 0.25 microsecond or 0.3 microsecond in the vertical section of CRO. So that is in order to delay a signal for certain amount of time we use a delay line. And next third one is a CRT. So that is cathode ray tube. So the as I told already, it is what the main block of CRO, or we can say the heart of the CRO. The CRT generates the electron beams, and basically they accelerated the beam to high velocity, and these accelerated electron beam travels from the source, that is from the electron gun assembly, and it is going to they are going to hit the screen, that is a phosphorus screen, to light up in the form of a green or a blue spot. So later we'll see in detail the block diagram of CRT. And next one is a trigger circuit. The function of trigger circuit is what? A sample of input waveform is fed to trigger circuit, which produces trigger pulses at some selected points on the input waveform. And next one is the time based generator. The time based generator basically it produces the sawtooth waveform of different frequencies. And finally we have a horizontal amplifier. So this includes a phase inverter and produces two output waveforms. One is what? A positive going and a negative going sawtooth, which is connected to the horizontal section of CRO. So this is what in general explanation about the block diagram of CRO. So next we are going to learn we are going to study the block diagram of CRT. So that is the cathode ray tube. And as we can see here, there is a cathode and there is a heater, there is control gate, focusing anode, accelerating anode, there are vertical deflection plates and there are horizontal deflection plates, and the screen will be there, the phosphor phosphor coating inside the screen will be there, and it is covered with the glass tube and aqueduct here. So a cathode ray tube is the main part of the CRO. Its main parts are basically the electron gun assembly. There is a deflection assembly, then a fluorescent screen, a glass envelope, and a base. So first we are going to start with the electron gun assembly. So basically the electron gun assembly consists of an indirectly heated cathode and a grid, a focusing anode, and an accelerating anode. So these four sections makes the electronic gun assembly here. The function of this assembly is to provide the focused electron beam which are accelerated towards the phosphorus screen here. And the cathode is a nickel cylinder coated with an oxide of barium, strontium, and emits plenty of electrons when heated. So as we heat the electron gun assembly, it is going to emit the electrons, and these electrons have to be focused towards the phosphor screen without any diversion. So we are going to use what the control grid or focusing anode. So they allow the electron beams to travel in a straight line. So next one is deflection plate assembly. So the electron beam, after leaving the electron gun, passes through two pairs of deflection plates. So that is one pair mounted vertically and produces horizontal deflection called horizontal deflection plates, and other pair mounted horizontally which produces vertical deflection, which is called vertical deflection plates. And next one is fluorescent screen. The end wall of the CRT called the screen is coated with the phosphor. So when struck by high energy electrons, it glows. So that is the property of the phosphor. So whenever the electrons falls on a phosphor, so it is going to emit the light, right, in the form of what, a blue or a green here. And last section is glass envelope. So the glass envelope is a funnel shaped having a phosphor coated screen. So it is highly evacuated in order to permit the electron beam to traverse the tube easily. And next we are going to see the vertical amplifier. Means we are going to learn in detail regarding the vertical amplifier, horizontal amplifier, time based generator, and a delay line here. So vertical amplifier, the input signal to vertical deflection plates is fed through vertical amplifier, as we have seen in the diagram. The function of this vertical amplifier is to amplify the input signal. The input voltage to be measured is already, as I told, it is given to the amplifier, vertical amplifier. So the function of vertical amplifier is to amplify the input signal. It is necessary to adjust the amplitude of the input signal so that large signal should not be displayed out of the screen. So the input signal is fed through an attenuator. So that is the main purpose of attenuator here. So because as we amplify the signal, that signal should not cross the screen here. The large signal should not be displayed out of the screen. So that is the reason we are going to use an attenuator. So as you can see the attenuator in the block diagram. And next one is horizontal amplifier. So the function of horizontal amplifier is to amplify the signal, so which is applied to the X plates. For the measurement of voltage and currents, the input to the horizontal amplifier is a sawtooth wave. For frequency and phase measurement, the input is an external signal. The horizontal amplifier must be able to amplify both these inputs without any distortion. And next one is time-based generator. The function of this time-based generator is to drive the beam at a steady speed across the screen, and when it reaches the right side of the screen here. So that is the reason we are going to use a sawtooth waveform there. So next, the horizontal deflection of beam is proportional to the instantaneous voltage of sawtooth wave. So the beam sweeps at an uniform rate across the screen in the horizontal direction. And the last one is a delay line. So basically, as I told, the delay line is connected as after the vertical amplifier. So the output of the vertical amplifier, it is connected to the delay line, and in turn the output of delay line is connected to the vertical deflection plates. Since the signal and vertical and horizontal deflection plates has to reach simultaneously, so we need to introduce some delay after the vertical amplifier output. So that is the purpose of a delay line here. So the purpose of delay line is to delay the vertical signal enough to keep it from reaching the CRT deflection plates before the horizontal sweep circuits are running. Next, we are going to study the dual beam oscilloscope. So, as the name suggests, the dual beam oscilloscope means these oscilloscopes can display two waveforms here. So, we can see the different blocks here, the signal A, and there are two signals, signal A and signal B, and they are applied to the different blocks like preamplifier and attenuator, and there is a main vertical amplifier, and there is a delay line, a trigger circuit, sweep generator, horizontal amplifier, and a CRT. So as the name suggests, the dual beam oscilloscope, this can display two waveforms. This waveform can be compared so in terms of amplitude, phase, or time. The above figure shows the block diagram of dual beam oscilloscope, which uses what the two separate electron beams, then two sets of Y deflection plates and a single set of X deflection plate, and the two signals provided are signal A and signal B, which are given separately for the amplifier and the attenuator blocks. So simultaneously we can display both signal with the two separate vertical deflection amplifiers and only one horizontal amplifier for time base here. So dual beam CRO are of bigger in size and more weight. So the main advantage is we can easily switch between two waveforms trace. So next we are going to discuss the digital storage oscilloscope. So as the name suggests, the digital storage, because the internally the CRO is going to convert some analog into digital format, and we can store it in a memory for certain amount of time. Because of all these factors, it is what digital storage oscilloscope, and even it has got some of the advantages compared with other CROs here. So the main blocks in the digital storage oscilloscopes are attenuator, then we have a control logic, trigger circuit, sample and hold, then A to D converter, we have a memory, and there is vertical deflection plates, horizontal deflection plates, and finally the CRT. So here the input waveform is analog sampled, and each sample is converted into digital form by means of ADC converter. So in this way it is converted into digital format. The input signal is attenuated and amplified with vertical amplifier. The trigger circuit generates a pulse waveform at desired sampling frequency. So each pulse switches the sampling gate, so that is sample and hold section, and ADC is on for a particular time period. The sample and hold circuit generates a series of analog samples, and ADC converts each pulse into coded group of pulses, or we can say it is in the digital form, and these pulses are passed through semiconductor memory for storage purpose, which can be used later. So that can be stored for a temporary period of time, and we can use it later. So these digital pulses are converted into analog form by DAC, so that is digital to analog converter, and applied to the vertical amplifier, and then fed to the CRT for display purposes. Finally, again this digital format is converted into analog form, and it is given for the CRT. So the advantages of digital storage oscilloscopes are they are easy to operate, and there is what infinite storage time, and signal processing is possible here. Then cursor measurement is even possible. And next we are going to learn the measurement of voltage, current, frequency, and time base using CRO here. So the various parameters which we can measure by using CROs are voltage, or we can measure current, period, frequency, phase, amplitude, peak to peak value, and as well as duty cycle. So first we are going to learn how we can measure voltage using CRO. The procedure what we followed here for the measurement of voltage is the voltage what you are measuring, so that is applied to the Y deflection plates, and the X deflection plates are excited by the time based generator, and by using a set of squares on the screen. So the peak to peak value of the voltage can be easily measured here, and after noting down the divisions covered by the signal, the sine wave value can be obtained. So by using the formula, so that is peak to peak voltage, we can calculate it by using volts per division into the number of divisions, and we can calculate the amplitude by using the formula V max equal to, so V peak to peak divided by 2, and RMS value we can calculate by using the formula V peak to peak divided by square root of 2. And next one is current measurement. The CRO has a very high input impedance and it cannot be used for direct measurement of current. So the current can be measured as voltage drop across a standard resistance here. So that is as I is equal to V by R. So that is voltage can be easily measured on the CRO, and there is a drop in the voltage, so that is across the resistor. So by using this easily we can calculate the current here. So that is I is equal to V by R we have written, that is based on the Ohm's law here. And time so next one is time period measurement. So to measure the time period, so we can calculate the number of divisions covered by one cycle on the screen of the CRO, which is noted, and the time period is calculated by using the number of divisions covered by one cycle into time per division seconds. So that is, so if you know the time period, then easily we can calculate the frequency. So by using the formula F is equal to 1 by time period. So that is what inversely proportional of time period. And the last concept in the chapter is Lissajous figures. So basically the Lissajous figures, they are used to find the nature of the waveforms here. So that is it is formed when two sine waves are applied simultaneously to the vertical and horizontal deflection plates of the CRO. So the shape of the Lissajous pattern depends on the frequency and phase relationship of two sine waves here. So when vertical deflection voltage is Em sine theta plus phi, and horizontal deflection voltage is En is equal to Em sine theta. So we can see some of the patterns here. So by noting the patterns of the waveforms on the screen, so we can easily measure the phase and frequency relationship of two sine waves here. So in the first case we can see the pattern and the phase difference is 0 degree. In the second case, if the Lissajous pattern, if it is like this, then the phase difference is 30 degree or 330 degree, and in the third case the phase difference is 90 degree or 270 degree. And finally fourth one, so if the nature of the Lissajous pattern on the screen is like this, it indicates what, the two signals have the phase difference of 150 degree or 210 degree, and the last the last Lissajous figure indicates the two signals have the phase difference of 180 degree. So thank you.